Coming up on Communiverse, a groundbreaking nutrition study shows you can double your weight loss just by ditching ultra-processed foods. New research-backed hacks to finally break free from your phone, this thing that's with us all the time, and reclaim your time. Amazon blows up Wondery, and the New York Post invades California, of all places. We break down the shifting media battleground. And on YouTube, there's a reality show where machinists battle for $100,000, and it's the coolest competition you've never heard of. Plus, we unpack how the right turned on denim ad into a full-blown attack on all Democrats, and why the left never plays that game, or at least never plays it well. Decode the media, upgrade your message, improve your life. It's time for the Communiverse. Let's go. It's ready for more time for more fun. Story one, avoiding ultra-processed foods might double weight loss. That is the first story of the day. Are you trying to slim down? Well, chances are that you may be going about it the wrong way, eating processed food. We're going to delve into that in just a moment. I'm TJ Walker. This is the Communiverse, soon to change to a new name. And we're sort of in a test mode right here. We're going to be launching officially the new show September 2nd. We'll be on all podcast platforms and all social media platforms, and experimenting with new sets here. I've just ordered sound pads to get rid of the echo in our new studio. Experimenting with a new teleprompter today. So I appreciate you joining me today and giving feedback and helping us figure this all out. So let me hop right into it. Story one, avoiding ultra-processed foods might double weight loss. Are you trying to slim down? A new study just gave ultra-processed foods another black eye. Published yesterday in Nature Medicine, researchers found that participants lost twice as much weight on a diet of minimally processed foods compared to one filled with ultra-processed but so-called healthy options like frozen meals, protein shakes, and plant-based milk. The study was led by Dr. Samuel Dicken at University College London and co-authored by Dr. Kevin Hall of the NIH. It followed 55 adults who rotated between the two diets over several months. Both eating plans met official nutrition guidelines. On average, participants lost 4 pounds on the minimally processed plan and just 2 pounds on the ultra-processed one. They also lost more body fat and reported fewer food cravings. Experts say this might be because whole foods take longer to chew, are less calorie dense, and may help people feel full faster. With processed foods making up 70% of what's on store shelves, this research suggests that even the healthy convenience options could be holding back your progress. Extraordinarily important, and yet most of us see this one story, it goes in one ear and out the other. Here's the problem. Look, I'm a capitalist. Presumably, you like some aspects of capitalism. And capitalism is all about, how do I take something, put a bunch of packaging on it, charge enough money to pay for advertising and for corporate salaries, and put enough, typically sugar, artificial sugar stuff, to make people like it. That's the business of food. And unfortunately, it's just not healthy. I can tell you, and I don't want you basing your own health decisions on anecdotal advice, but I do want to give you anecdotal advice. When I shifted from eating so-called low-calorie breakfasts and healthy, so-called healthy cereals to simply eating oatmeal with real nuts, real flaxseed, real chia seeds, real fruit, I lost about 15 pounds pretty quickly earlier this year. And it's nothing I can sell to you in a big package. It's all healthy food you can find in any grocery store for the most part. It takes a couple more minutes to make it in the morning, but it's extraordinarily filling, and it actually has more calories than when I used to go to Starbucks and eat their healthy spinach wraps. It's so heavily processed that it does, in fact, make you hungrier. And that's the problem with all these processed foods, these shakes, these meal replacements, these power bars. They've got so much processing in them that just doesn't make you feel full the way eating an actual apple does, or actually eating oatmeal and some almonds and some fresh berries on top. So I'm urging you, whether you're trying to lose weight or not, the biggest thing I find that helps my own health and that most experts I read about would verify is when you're buying food from a store, if it comes in a box or a bag, throw it away, don't buy it. You want things from the actual produce section. Now, you may put that in your own bag, that's fine. But if it comes in a bag, if it has an instruction label or an ingredient label, and it's got 20, 30, 40 ingredients, no matter how many times it says healthy, low fat, no sugar, chances are it's probably poison for you. So I really, really want you to keep that in mind. Other points that I want to bring your attention to. The minimally processed diet produced twice as much weight loss if you're trying to lose weight. So maybe it's not about the latest pill, potion, supplement, fancy ingredient from the other side of the world. Maybe it's just going to the grocery store and focusing on the produce section, avoiding all those aisles, avoiding everything near the checkout that has pretty packaging. If you see something with pretty packaging, that almost in and of itself is a reason not to buy it and put it in your mouth. Coke has got great labels, great design element. You know what doesn't have great labels? Water. Water does not have a great label. Yeah, there are water companies these days. This is tap water. Doesn't have a great label. So much better for you. Now, I know you've heard this before, but it gets lost in the mix of the daily thousands of ads you and I are bombarded with from every media outlet. Doesn't matter if you go to the New York Times, Fox News, it's across ideologies, it's across countries. The advertisements you and I are bombarded with all day long are from processed food companies. In fact, according to this study, 70% of all food in the US is ultra processed. I don't mean it's simply smoked salmon and the smoking was processing. And I mean it's ultra processed, whipped, chopped, diced, so many chemicals, flavor, additives, sugars, processed sugars, artificial sugars. There's so much stuff put in it, it's hard to really tell what was real food to begin with. And that's a gigantic problem. When you eat real food, you're going to feel fuller sooner and you're going to feel fuller longer. That decreases the need for snacking, which, by the way, if you're snacking and you're not a professional athlete, you got to ask yourself, are you doing it because your body really needs fuel? Or are you doing it out of boredom? Are you doing it out of, it feels good, it's fun? Those are not good reasons to snack. So it's not about being beautiful. It's not about being appealing to fashion editors. It's about your health. We face a crisis in the United States and indeed in most of the industrialized world where obesity is now the norm. 70% of Americans are either overweight or obese, and it's not about aesthetics. Once you're overweight, there's so many other problems that take place. I mean, most notably, the diabetes, stroke, hypertension, heart attack. You're much more likely to need your knees replaced because the extra weight is putting so much pressure on your joints. If you get back to a normal, healthy weight, as defined by your height and your body type, typically, not always, typically a lot of other health problems vanish or they don't show up. You dramatically decrease your chances of having chronic diseases if you simply get back to an ideal weight. And I don't mean skinny, I mean an ideal weight where you're not overweight and not obese. Eliminating processed foods, and yes, eliminating so-called healthy processed foods. And sugar-free diet foods and fat-free diet foods, all of that for the most part is garbage. Eat real food, vegetables, fruit, meat that doesn't come all slathered in a pound of barbecue sauce, which is mostly sugar. Eat real food, minimally processed, and you will be much healthier in all likelihood. You'll certainly, according to the survey just released today, lose weight faster than if you eat the so-called healthy boxed bagged foods. You are watching The Communiverse, which is soon to change names, but you'll still see that up here. I'm TJ Walker. I'm the host. I look at the world through the lens of communication skills. For decades, I have coached presidents of countries, CEOs, Wall Street wizards, Fortune 500 executives on how to communicate. Now I turn the tables and look through the news on your behalf and show you what's really going on, show you how leaders and companies are actually communicating with you, what the real messages are, and lessons you can learn from that to improve your own career as well as your personal life. That's what we're about right here on The Communiverse. More in a moment after these commercial words. Imagine having a communication coach who never sleeps. Meet your new secret weapon, the TJ Walker AI clone. Go to tjwalker.ai and start getting custom coaching 24/7. No scheduling, no hourly fees. I train presidents, prime ministers, and Fortune 500 CEOs. But the same exact communication I've delivered to world leaders is now available to you online, anytime at MediaTrainingWorldwide.com. Whether you're speaking on camera, pitching a client, or handling a crisis, you need these tools. These aren't fluffy motivational videos. They're practical, battle-tested techniques to help you speak clearly, confidently, and persuasively. Go to MediaTrainingWorldwide.com and take your communication to the next level. Got feedback or a question for me? I actually read them, and if you send one, I'll send you a free mini course as a thank you. Just head to tjwalker.com/feedback. Ever wish you could just ask me your question live? Now you can. Every week I go live with members only. On YouTube, it's called TJ Live. I review pitches, fix presentations, and answer your questions on the spot. It's interactive, personal, and hands-on. If you want real-time coaching in a small group setting, go to tjwalker.com/live and become a member. This isn't passive content. It's a two-way conversation. Want to make sure we stay connected even if YouTube deletes me again? Join my newsletter at substack.com/@TJWalkerSuccess. It's free, fast, and packed with exclusive insights. Issue 2, new tools to break free from your phone. A digital detox may sound cliché, but a New York Times feature just gave it a 2025 refresh. Reporter Christina Karen interviewed top experts in psychology, tech, and productivity for creative, research-backed ways to reclaim your attention from your phone, and not just the usual grayscale screen advice. We're talking about real-life behavioral change. Among the most powerful tips, set a deadline for something meaningful, like a race or event, to crowd out screen time. Create a charging altar and leave your phone there at night outside of the bedroom. Use batching. Check apps just 2 to 3 times a day. And try phone-free Saturdays, a technique endorsed by authors like Claire Morrell and Adam Alter. MIT professor Sherry Turkle suggests replacing doom scrolling with me time, reading a poem, calling a friend, or going for a walk. NYU's Jonathan Haidt, my favorite author, and Georgetown's Cal Newport, another one of my favorite authors, both recommend using laptops instead of phones for any necessary digital interaction. The message is clear. Your phone isn't just a tool, it's shaping your time, your habits, and your life. And now's the time to take control. This is the exact moment for doing it. Okay, let's look at what's really going on here with this phone. I have one here. Now, I've turned it off on purpose because I want to give you my full attention. And if I have my phone on, and I've accidentally left it on before when doing shows, if I have it on, then there's a possibility that there's a text come in or some email or a call comes in. I'm going to give you attention because right now you're the most important thing to me. So that's why I'm doing it. One of the most powerful things I've ever done in my life to improve my own life, to make more money, to be more grounded, to be more relaxed is I started going for a walk every day for typically an hour, and I left my phone at home. What are you talking about, TJ? That's crazy. What if somebody needed you? Guess what? I'm not that important. Well, you can't do that in the modern world. Well, guess what? You can. It worked pretty well for Einstein and Shakespeare, Oppenheimer, Michelangelo, and yes, basically every successful person in the world you knew until 20 years ago. People got along really fine without having a cell phone on all the time. Now, make no mistake about it. I'm not telling you to give up your phone. I'm not telling you to throw it away. I'm not telling you you have to go back to a flip phone. But I do think if you want to be more successful in your life, you have to take control over your life. And it's simply a fact that this thing has taken control over, I would argue, most people in the world today. No, I can't talk to you. No, I can't exercise. No, I can't build social skills. I'm going to be staring down at the screen. And I get it because there's a lot of interesting stuff. Every interesting idea in the entire history of the world, I can get through here, and so can you. So I understand why people want to spend time on it. I really do. I spend time on my phone. I'm not asking you to take your phone away, but there has to be some balance. You have to figure out what is most important to you. Like right now, what's important to me is creating the best possible show for you. And it's forcing me to take what's in here and come out and deliver to you. If you're spending all of your time looking at a screen, you're consuming other people's ideas all day long. And yeah, I understand you may be texting back a response to a friend, and it's good for staying in touch with friends. You know what else is good for staying in touch with friends? Hanging out with friends in the same room, at the beach, at a park, at a restaurant. And yeah, when you're at a restaurant, little tip for you, your conversations will be more meaningful. You will be more relaxed if the phones are not placed on the table. If it's literally not visible, my recommendation, put it in your pocket, put it in a purse. I've even put it on the floor before. Your phone should not be visible if you want the person you're talking to feel like you give a darn about them, that you care one iota about their thoughts. That is the best way to do it. Now, some of the other tips suggested, checking messages just 2 or 3 times a day. I get it. That's tough to do. One of the things I did a number of years ago that has helped a lot more than it hurts is I simply don't allow notifications on my phone. Do I occasionally miss a text message from some? Yeah, once in a while. But the benefit is I have gigantic swaths of time, hour sections where I can go deep in something, write a new chapter in a book, a podcast, a script for you, create a new online course. I can have sustained concentration because I don't have these notifications. So there's a lot of great tools on this if you use them. Simply sliding notifications off so you don't get them for things like text. And every app in the world wants to send you a notification every 5 seconds because they want you to go back to Facebook or go back to some other page because that's how they make money. If you don't take control of your phone, you're being a sap. I don't know of any polite way of saying it. You're basically working for free for billionaires and trillionaires. You're working for free for Mark Zuckerberg because you're saying, yes, I'll sit here, deliver my eyeballs to your advertisers so you, Mark Zuckerberg, can make more money. Now, do I use Facebook? Yes. We're streaming live on Facebook right now. But I don't have to check in every 5 seconds. Once a day is more than enough for me for Facebook. You figure out what works for you, but take control over it. The entire modern economy, run by the largest tech giants in the world, it's all premised on the idea that you're easy to manipulate through this thing. And if we just throw raw meat in front of you, if we just throw titillating things in front of you, you're defenseless. And you'll essentially roll over, give us your brain, and directly or indirectly give your money. It's time to fight back. The most successful people in the world, I find, spend less time, dramatically less time on their cell phone than the least successful people. You could say it's almost inversely proportional. Now, if you go to one extreme, obviously the most impoverished people in the world don't have cell phones. So I'm not suggesting you can't have a cell phone, but if you're on it every second of the day and you're not using it as a creation tool, then it's a big problem. There is something different for people who are genuinely fantastic TikTok creators. And speaking of which, I did see Charlie D'Amelio on Broadway the other day, who has made an absolute fortune with her cell phone and other cameras as a TikTok star. If you're truly generating massive amounts of content with your phone, that's different. But let's face it, if you're just scrolling through the news, scrolling to see how many people liked my photo on Facebook of my last vacation. Oh, only 3, nobody likes me. If that's what you're doing, that's not enhancing your life. I want you to take control over your life. Make this thing work for you. Don't become the butler to this thing and all the big tech companies inside. That is really the message. Issue 3, Amazon reshapes podcasting. That's right. Amazon reshapes podcasting while the New York Post heads west. 2 media giants made major moves this week, and together they tell a powerful story. The media landscape isn't just changing, it's splitting in new directions. Amazon announced Monday it's eliminating over 100 jobs at Wondery, that's its podcasting company, and restructuring its podcast empire. Traditional audio storytelling like Dr. Death and Dirty John will now live under Audible and focus on subscriptions. Meanwhile, high-profile video podcasts like the Kelsey Brothers' New Heights are moving into a new division called Creator Services, geared toward talent-driven brands and cross-platform monetization. Translation, podcasts aren't just audio anymore, case in point right here. They're stars with merch, video, and Prime Day cameos. At the same time, the New York Post revealed plans to launch the California Post in 2026. With California's local news scene in crisis, the legendary East Coast tabloid is opening a Los Angeles newsroom, promising splashy celebrity coverage, sports, and political firepower. From podcast platforms evolving into video empires to print tabloids chasing digital expansion across coast, the message is clear. Media companies are no longer just chasing clicks. They're chasing influence across every screen, stream, and state. Okay, so what's really going on here? I think this is a continuation of a theme I've discussed here many times, which is the media world is constantly changing, constantly morphing, constantly evolving, and there's not a lot of job security for most people, with one exception. If you have your own fan base and you have your own ability to create, and you have your own community, and you're willing to be a jack of all trades, be a producer, a bottle washer, sell ads, create deals, those people are going to be in good shape. I'm not worried about the Kelsey brothers anytime soon. But if you are an editor or a researcher or a script writer for a podcasting company like Wondery, or if you're an editor at a newspaper in a small town, you're essentially in the same boat. You can be eliminated. AI can get rid of your job. There can be downsized. There can be restructuring. we're seeing it all the time. And the other factor here is traditionally, anytime new technology comes out with a new way of distributing ideas, the old ways don't die off. We still do have newspapers. The New York Times had more readers than it's ever had in the history of that publication. The New York Post is the oldest newspaper, active newspaper in America, and it's now going to Southern California. Now, here's what's really going on, I think. The New York Post is owned by Rupert Murdoch. Murdoch and his family already own a lot of Hollywood properties and media conglomerate, Fox News, the Fox Broadcasting Network, all these other movies, 20th Century Fox. They already have a big concern out in Hollywood. They have a big presence in Hollywood and Southern California. Southern California is a huge, huge ecosystem economy. When you factor in the entire state of California, its economy is bigger than all but a handful of countries in the entire world. So I think the Murdoch family and News Corp and their various entities just see this as such a crucial place. They want to have impact in a time when presidential aspirants like the current governor of California are out there. It's a way for them to sort of be involved in the local politics, which is really a way of being involved in the national politics of America too. This is an unusual situation. This does not apply to most people. In general, I would not tell someone, focus all your career ambitions on being a newspaper tabloid reporter. That would not be my advice, but it does show you that no matter how sophisticated the new media world gets and podcast and TikTok, there is still a role for old media and old ways of doing things. In the same way, talking movies did not get rid of radio. Radio is still around. And television did not get rid of movies. Cable TV did not get rid of broadcast TV. They morph, they change, they adapt. Oftentimes their market share gets smaller. It certainly has happened to broadcast TV and cable TV. But typically they continue to thrive. If you're someone who aspires to communicate a message to the world, whether you see yourself as a creator, a TV producer, an author, it all boils down to you have some message that you want to share with people to either help them or entertain them. It comes down fundamentally to one of those two things, and sometimes it's a combination of the two. If that's the case, there have never been more ways for you to practice your craft, share what you do with the world. There's never been more ways to make money, but there's also never been more ways to get fired, canned, laid off. Because if you do not have control over where you are in the value chain, it's going to be very easy to be scratched off. Whether it's AI, whether it's, sorry, we'd love to continue covering the local school board and county commission, but we've lost all of our classified ads to this thing called Craigslist. Therefore, there's no money. Therefore, we're not replacing you with AI. We're not replacing you with someone younger. We're not replacing you with someone who's willing to work for less. We're not replacing you with someone from another country and outsourcing you. We're just not going to cover the local school board or county commission. I mean, that's the issue that faces so many local newspapers and local media and local radio. You have to figure out a way of creating value to people with what you do. And it's really hard for anyone who's in traditional niches of covering local governments. I frankly don't know what the answer is there. But for anyone else, if you've got something of universal appeal, I mean, that's part of why I like my niche of communication skills, because I help about 500,000 students in India alone, because communication skills is really important to people everywhere in the world. And I'm fortunate and lucky to have 12 million student enrollments in my courses around the world, and they're in every single country and every continent Other than I don't think I have anyone in North Korea. I do have a student or two in Vatican City, which is its own country. And I have had students who were on location working in Antarctica, way down at the South Pole. So that's an exciting thing to do. I couldn't do that if I specialized in covering zoning commission proceedings in Palm Beach County, where I live. There wouldn't be that opportunity. So when you're picking your niche, try to pick something that has universal appeal, because you can be narrow and focused and still do well, which does lead us to the very next story. This is a fun, interesting story I want to share with you. Story YouTube and the rise of reality manufacturing. Reality show on YouTube, where the prize isn't fame or romance. It's $100,000 and a CNC machine. It's called Clash of Trades, and it's quietly reinventing the manufacturing spotlight. Think Top Chef, but for welders and machinists. Contestants race against the clock to fabricate complex mechanical parts with precision, speed, and technical mastery. Not tears or drama. Created with support from the U.S. Department of Defense, the show is part of a larger effort to make skilled trades aspirational again. With the American manufacturing sector facing a severe talent shortage, this series aims to glamorize real-world jobs that don't require a four-year degree, but do require grit, skill, and problem-solving under pressure. This season's breakout star is Wyatt Curry, a 22-year-old from Yuma College, who led his team to victory after spending Friday nights programming 5-axis machines instead of going out. His drive was personal. He wanted to prove his trade was just as valuable as a desk job. The show might not have gone viral yet, but in labs, trade schools, and precision shops across the country, it's creating role models. And in an era of AI hype, it's celebrating the humans still building the future. Now, I have to confess, I have not seen this show. Let's take a quick peek here at what this show is all about.
To crown Project MFG's 2025 National Clash of Trades Advanced Manufacturing Champion. 60 schools competed across 3 regional events, and we followed 16 teams to get to this point. The top 4 teams fought harder than ever, but only one team.
So look at the production values. I mean, all I can say is, wow, this looks like anything I would see on network TV. It certainly has slow motion, fast cuts, different camera angles, music, action. It's got a lot going on, and that's why it's getting attention, major profile in today's New York Times. So what's the big lesson here? I think, let's just take a look at their channel 1 minute and see what else we can learn from it. So it's not a huge subscriber base, but I mean, this video already has 5,000 views. I think the real lesson here is you can make a TV show or a YouTube show about anything and attract attention. I mean, they got thousands of views per video. They're getting thousands of subscribers, and it's a show about how to do welding. And I say that, I apologize if that in any way sounded condescending. It's certainly not meant to be that. It's meant to say, well, that's a hard thing to do. It's not like doing a show based on, sexy people wearing sexy jeans. That would be probably an easy show, and leads us to our final topic of the day in just a moment. But a lot of times I find so many people in different industries think, oh, wow, I love Gary Vaynerchuk and the way he's always promoting his businesses online. And I love this creator and that creator, but I couldn't do it because I'm in the cement mixing industry, or I'm in this boring industry. I sell paper. Well, speaking of paper, The Office, one of the most popular TV shows ever, is about people selling paper. So you can make a show about anything. I remember, about 15, maybe 20 years ago, someone told me, okay, a client of mine, TJ, I've just been picked to be a judge on a network TV show. And the entire show is business meeting where people pitch investors on giving them money to fund their business. And I thought, oh my God, a TV show about business meetings, PowerPoint slides, this is going to be the worst show ever. Well, it turned out that that show was the precursor to Shark Tank on a different network. And it obviously has been wildly successful. Shark Tank is a perfect example of you can make a show about anything. When you think about it, a show like Shark Tank is the worst possible idea for a show. There's no movement. There's no professional comedians. There's no romance. There's no like football action. It's people talking in a room about business. When you really boil it down, that sounds like one of the worst ideas ever. And yet Shark Tank has become a wildly successful show. And here we see this show meant to put a spotlight on people who are using their hands. They are the backbone of a lot of communities in our economy, of doing physical manual labor, machine work, welding, electricians. And it's a show all about them and it's competition. You can make competition in anything. You make competition in baking cakes. There's certainly a lot of successful shows on that topic. So here's what I want you to think about. It's not that you have to be some big egomaniac and be on video all day long like me and others. But if nothing else, how about once a month, you make at least one video sharing something you're doing that could benefit other people. That's all I'm asking for. What do you have to lose? If you do it right, you can enhance your credibility within your profession, within your industry, within your organization. You can connect with people you might not otherwise ever connect with. There's so many positive things that can happen. I mean, some of the clients I've had come to me who never would have found me if I'd been doing what I did 20 years earlier, which is just the old-fashioned way of going and meeting people, going to business meetings, working through personal connections. But I've had people in major parties in the largest democracy in the world on the other side of the globe call me because they saw me do an interview on the Wall Street Journal online show, a little show that had very few viewers. Sometimes people see one of these videos, call me, hire me, and it turns into multi-year engagements that are good for them and good for me and profitable. So that's what I really want you to think about. Can you do a show? Can you create content? And maybe it's just you're tweeting or using some social media platform where you express a pithy axiom that's helpful to you. Whatever you do, don't take the easy way. The easiest way out in social media is to attack. Say, here's somebody who disagrees with me a little bit. Therefore, they're the worst person in the world, and I hope horrible things happen to them and their kids. That's sometimes the easiest way to get traction on social media, outrage. It's not typically the best way to build a business or really help people or do something sustainable. So if you're watching this show, I'm pretty sure you want to build something that's sustainable. This show is about helping you become more successful. And that's what we're trying to do. More in a moment after this final commercial break. You don't want to miss this next story about the huge controversy, allegedly, about Sydney Sweeney's new jean commercial. The Communiverse has room for a few select sponsors. If you're legit, no crypto, no sugary drinks, no scams, just real value. Inquire now at tjwalker.com/advertise. Imagine being the most confident person in the room, whether you're on Zoom or on stage. That's what thousands of professionals are learning to do right now through my online communication courses. At Media Training Worldwide, you can access my complete training library, on demand, affordable, and actually effective. Whether you're preparing for media interviews, client presentations, or TED-style talks, I've got you covered. Check it out. MediaTrainingWorldwide.com. You'll never wing it again. Want to support the show? Skip the ads and buy me a coffee. That's buymeacoffee.com/TJ Walker. Want direct access to me live? Want to unlock bonus episodes, behind-the-scenes takes, and full access to my premium courses? Then become a member today. Just go to tjwalker.com/members and choose your preferred platform. YouTube, Patreon, whatever works for you. This isn't just another subscription. It's a full access pass to the tools, coaching, and content that can transform your communication and career. tjwalker.com/members. I'll see you inside. Want more? Grab my 5-book success library for $9.95 at tjwalker.com/books. It's the fastest way to level up your communication. For years, people have asked how they could get one-on-one coaching from me inexpensively. Well, now you can. Anytime, anywhere with the TJ Walker AI clone. It's like having me in your pocket, ready to help you prep for a speech, polish a pitch, or calm your nerves before a big meeting. You talk to it. It responds like I would, based on my real-world coaching of thousands of leaders and communicators. Check it out at tjwalker.ai. It's not just smart, it's personal. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. This is our final story of the day, story 5. The right's Sydney Sweeney obsession isn't about her, it's about framing the left. Conservative media has gone all in on the Sydney Sweeney jeans ad, not because they care about denim, but because they see an opportunity to create a new straw man. After a few fringe voices online accused the American Eagle ad of promoting good genes and imagery with eugenic undertones, MAGA world turned it into a full-blown culture war. The Department of Defense's official X account tweeted, "At Secretary of Defense has great genes. President Trump called it the hottest ad out there. Senator Ted Cruz declared liberals were against beautiful women." And Vice President J.D. Vance claimed Democrats are calling anyone who likes Sweeney a Nazi. Here's the thing. No elected Democrat has condemned the ad, not one, and none of the major liberal networks have given any significant coverage to this. But conservative media, Fox News, Newsmax, The Blaze, and over 50 right-wing podcasts have hyped the story all week long, creating the illusion of a left-wing war on Sydney Sweeney that doesn't exist. Imagine if MSNBC or CNN aired segments every time a fringe right-wing YouTuber said something Nazi-like. Liberals could use the same playbook, but they don't. It's just not in their DNA. Because inflating nobodies into national villains is a MAGA specialty, and it's something Republicans are just inherently good at. They've been good at it my entire life, of saying, okay, here's a mainstream centrist Democrat who once said they liked Cuba. Oh, they love Fidel Castro and they're communist. That goes the reasoning. And it does help politically. It helps dramatically discredit Democrats. Let's just take a look at this ad. In part, I'll show you another reason why I'm doing this, which you'll see in just a moment.
Sydney Sweeney's new jeans campaign is sparking major backlash.
And this is coverage from Inside Edition. Thanks to them for sharing.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are...
Okay, so confession. What did I just do here? What I did is what all these TV networks are doing, Fox and CNN. It's an excuse to be able to run video of a beautiful, sexy woman under the guise of news coverage, because they know people are switching dials, or, oh, let me look there. It attracts attention. So it's really a 2-for-1 special if you are Fox News, if you are Newsmax, because you can put video content that's very compelling And you can make your enemies seem like complete pathetic losers. And people like Ted Cruz, who is a savvy politician, have now twisted this and perverted this to say, Democrats are attacking anyone who's a good-looking woman. That would be great political fodder if it were true, but it's simply not true. So here's what's really going on. It's a big world out there. Every single person these days, thanks to a phone, has the ability to broadcast to the whole world, to put ideas out that anyone can see. And a certain percentage of people are nuts, okay? It's not that the right has a monopoly of nuts, although they have more than their fair share. There are nuts who are centrists. There are nuts and fools who are liberals. There are nuts and fools who are progressives. There are crazy people on the far left and the far right and everything in between. The difference is that every single time someone says something incredibly stupid who is perceived to be not conservative, not MAGA, not right-wing, you have an entire right-wing media ecosystem that pounces on it. Says, oh, this is going to be tasty. We're going to feast on this for the next 12 news cycles because it gets their base riled up. Here's another example of how crazy these liberals are, these progressives are, even though it was one person who said something stupid in their basement on a YouTube channel with one view. Doesn't matter because it meets an ideological agenda. Every single day, there's somebody on Twitter, somebody on YouTube who is a registered Republican and maybe a precinct member of the Republican Party. Maybe they had a Trump yard sign up and they put out something that says, I hate insert N-word, or all Jews are evil, or something really odious and offensive. They put that out. And yet you don't see MSNBC saying, well, here's what all Republicans think. Here's what all conservatives think. Here's what all MAGA people think. You don't see that. And if one of them did, you wouldn't then see every other progressive, liberal, centrist, mainstream talk show host hitting the same message point again and again and again. So if you doubt me, do a quick Google search, do a ChatGPT search, and look at who's actually talking about the outrage of this Sydney Sweeney ad. It's basically all conservatives. And it reminds me of the whole fake phony debate about the alleged problem of the Democratic Party is that all the officials are insisting on using the term Latinx when talking about Hispanic people. And that this is a sign somehow of how out of touch Democrats are and how out of touch the liberals are. They're using this faculty lounge language of Latinx. There's only one problem. I've never in my entire life seen anyone, any prominent Democrat use that term. Is it possible one did? Yes. But I would suggest to you, for every one person who is a centrist, left of center using the word Latinx, there are 1,000 prominent conservatives, podcasters, talk show hosts, broadcasters, bloggers, thought leaders, think tank leaders, talking about the fact that every Democrat wants to use this term, Latinx. It's simply a fake, phony, straw man issue. It's not real. Am I suggesting the Democratic Party has no problems? No, they've got a lot of problems. They are horrible communicators. They're absolutely pathetic at their ability to communicate positive messages about themselves and negative messages against their adversaries. But so much of the time, they spend defending themselves against these straw man arguments, and the straw man wins once again, as I added up. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Please post your comments. I do read every comment. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, sign up for notifications if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, any other platform. Please let me hear from you. And mark your calendars. Starting September 2nd, 2025, this show will be coming to you live daily on all platforms, audio podcasting, video, and everything in between. I'm TJ Walker, hoping that all of your communication is successful and that you live the life you want. See you tomorrow.